All kinds of journalists are killed for different reasons around the world. On average, 3 journalists are killed every month. A vast majority of them are just local journalists covering local issues in their native country. Some journalists are killed by crossfire while reporting in combat situations like Gaza, Iraq, or Georgia. A young photographer called Namir Nur el-Din was killed by U.S. fire. And just last year, while reporting on the Georgia-Russia conflict, Dutch cameraman Stan Storymans was killed by bombing. Other reporters are killed while on dangerous assignments in places like Burma, India, or Haiti, where photographer Ricardo Ortega was shot and killed while reporting on the violent street protests that followed the 2004 ousting of President Jean-Bertrand Aristide. A vast majority of killed journalists, at least 70%, are targeted to silence their criticism or to retaliate for their reporting. The most murderous places in the world include countries like Somalia or Sri Lanka, although in CPJ's dishonor list of most murderous countries are places with democratic governments like Russia, Mexico, Colombia, and the Philippines. Amongst the journalists who have been targeted for their work are people like Orlando Sierra, a Colombian editor known for highlighting government corruption, who was murdered in 2002. There's also the case of Francisco Ortiz Franco, a Mexican reporter who had done extensive reporting on organized crime in Mexico, who was shot to death in front of his 2 children in 2004. Most journalist killers are not brought to justice in general because the government does very poor investigations of their killings, either because they are involved or because it's not a high priority for them to solve a journalist's killing. According to CPJ's impunity index, there are some countries where impunity is more widespread, but there's impunity everywhere. CPJ has undertaken a global campaign against impunity. We're seeking to hold governments responsible for investigating the murders of journalists and bring the perpetrators to justice. When a journalist is killed and his killers are not brought to justice and his murder is not investigated, it's sending a chilling message to other reporters. Because of impunity comes self-censorship, and with self-censorship, the press in that country is seriously hurt, and without a free press, there can't be a real democracy.